Hello my friends, Asoka the Geek here, and for today's review we're going to take a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Amazon exclusive Clayface, Batman, and Batwoman 3-pack. So I already took it out of the packaging. This is the packaging. It's a cardboard box that basically just has some okay artwork on the back. You know, I always respect artists, but this seems like a very much like a kind of like a Spin Master artwork. I prefer comic book artwork, and there's definitely scenes with the three of them from the comic book I feel like they could have used, but whatever. And then yeah, the box is just basically a black cardboard box with gold labels. So man, that sucks for the inbox collectors. I don't know why they switched to this. Maybe they're trying to save on plastic, but I much prefer obviously a window so you can see the figures. I take them out of the box, so at the end of the day it doesn't really matter to me. But for our inbox collectors, you know, let's give them a window. Let's give them a window. But yeah, here are the figures outside of the packaging. So full disclosure, I really didn't want to purchase the set. I never picked up the original Clayface because I just don't really care for this Clayface design. I don't really care for Clayface. I like him as a character in the comics and in the shows. I think he's a really cool character. His abilities, been some really beautiful stories with Clayface, both in the animated series and in the comic books. But as a design, he just looks like a pile of mud, right? Like, he's not a cool looking monster to me. He's cool. I probably wouldn't even display this because I have the Mattel Clayface from a few years ago, which I really like, because I think at least that one looks like a very specific comic book version of Clayface. So I wouldn't even display this version. I think if they had done like a 90s Clayface, that version of Clayface where he's kind of got a suit on, like a suit of armor, containing his clayness, I think that would have been cool, at least a little dynamic. But I mean, I get why they did this. This makes sense because there is a specific era in the comics where Batwoman, Clayface, and Batman all work together, so that makes sense. You see my hands wailing there. So I get it, but I'm just not a fan of Clayface. Also, this Batman, love this Batman. This is the Rebirth Batman. This is just a lighter version of that suit, or a different color version of the suit. Great figure. But I already have a version of this. Wasn't really interested in getting another version, to be honest with you. The only reason I bought the set is for Batwoman, over here to the right. I need a Batwoman for my 7-inch McFarlane collection. I have the Mattel version, but she runs on the smaller side, especially when you put her next to, you know, the 7-inch McFarlane figures. I don't know if they're going to do a single release of this. Nothing's been even rumored. So I'm like, okay, do I hope they do a single release, or do I just bite the bullet? So I bit the bullet. I just bought the set really for Batwoman. Now, having the set in hand, I'm fine with that. I'm happy with my purchase. I got Batwoman. I do like this Batman quite a bit. You know, I am a sucker for Batman figures, so it is cool to have two variations of this costume now. And Clayface, honestly, my opinion still holds on Clayface. It's a fine-looking Clayface. If you want a Clayface in your collection, sure, let's go with this one. But for me, I'm just not a fan of the design of this character. So, yeah, there he is. Alright, enough of my ranting. Let's go ahead and talk about these figures in a bit more detail. Alright, so let's take a look at Clayface first. So here he is. You know, and it's pretty cool what they did. You can see in his clayness the faces, the screaming faces of people. Not really screaming faces of people. They're people that he assumed that their identities are, you know, changed into. So that's a really nice touch there. I also like the way they painted this. This really nicely painted Clayface. Rob D Toys is going to have some comparisons with the original one, but this is a really nice paint job there. So I think it looks great. I also like that the face moves. That is pretty cool. And I don't know if this is based on the specific version of Clayface from that run of Detective Comics. I feel like the Mattel one was very specific. I don't know if this one looks like that one. I think it might. It kind of does. So I guess that's something. But anyways, there's the top of it. Only thing is, it's really hollow. When you pick it up, you can just feel how hollow it is, which is fine. It's a bigger figure. What do I expect? But yeah, there he is. There's the feet. And there is the figure. So, again, I'm not a big fan of Clayface, like this version of it. But if you're looking for a Clayface, I definitely recommend getting this one, because you get Batwoman and Batman in the set. I don't know if he's worth a double dip if you already have the original one. But yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of Clayface fans. I'm sure I'm the minority as far as my feelings on Clayface go. But hey, this is if you're going to get a Clayface, this is a beautifully designed Clayface figure. So there you go. There's Clayface. All right, then next up in this lovely set, we have Batman. Again, they've already released a version of this figure. I think it had darker colors, so it says Rebirth costume, and that is accurate to the comic. Like, it started out, I think, like this, then got darker, and then now it's totally different. But there you have it. Great body sculpt on this. I love this figure. It's a great figure. I love the costume. Love the design of this. I love the purple behind the cape. Just adds a little flair to it. I like the purple when Batman does purple on the cape. So I dig that. And I think this is a great figure. I mean, again, they've already released this one. The only thing is, he does run on the smaller side. You know, for example, actually, I'll do some comparisons in a few minutes with some other Batman figures. But yeah, I think he looks great. This is a great Batman figure, and I am a fan of the Rebirth costume. Now, he does come with some accessories here. They're probably shared between Batwoman and Batman. You have two grapple guns, 2 batarangs. These actually did not come with trading cards for whatever reason, or stands, but there you go. Unless I missed it in the box, but I don't think so. And then finally, we have Batwoman, and I am really happy to have a 7-inch Batwoman in my collection. I think this is a really nice figure. I think they captured her face really nicely with her, the white makeup, or not white makeup, her more white complexion. For her skin tone there, that looks great. The red is really nice on the hair. Then the red on the back. And this is just a great Batwoman figure. It looks just like her. This will look great on the shelf. I believe they used the Nightfall Catwoman body for this, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments below. But it works. I think it works really nicely for this figure. I think she looks great. She looks like Batwoman. She scales really nicely with this Batman. We'll see how she scales with some other Batman figures in a moment. But yeah, I'm very happy with this Batwoman. And I do feel complete now that I have a Batwoman in my collection. But you got to have the full Bat family. So there you go. I think she looks awesome. But yeah, let's see how Batman and Batwoman and Clayface look next to some other McFarlane figures. Alright, so here is the new Batman next to the Atomic Skull Action Comics Superman. I think these scale really nicely together, actually. Yeah, I think those look nice together. He also looks good next to Nightfall Batman, and there's Batwoman next to Nightfall Batman. So these all scale really nicely, I feel, because, yeah, these look great. But let's see how they scale next to maybe some larger McFarlane figures. Alright, so here we can see kind of where the size issues come into play. The Tim Drake Robin over here on the left. Now this is too big, honestly. They should have made him smaller, but he is just way too big for this version of Batman. He is taller than Batman. That's no good. He can't be taller than Batman. I think Batwoman, she scales fine. She's a lady. I don't think she was that tall in the comic books. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I think she was tall in the comic books, but she looks okay next to like the Hush Batman. It doesn't look odd at all. She looks fine next to Hush Batman. But this Batman, you can see how big he is versus the Hush Batman. So yeah, if you're going to try to display like Tim Drake Robin with this Batman, it's not going to work. I think if you have Damian Wayne, he is shorter, so that should work out okay. But yeah, again, these are on the smaller side. I guess not really that they're on the smaller side. I actually like this scale. It's just that the Robin over here on the left is on the bigger side, and some of the other figures. So yeah, scale, it's always an issue, guys, because they are basing these characters on so many different designs and artistic interpretations, and they are sculpted by different people. So what are you going to do? By the way, if you hear my daughter in the background, she's on her iPad in the corner in the shed here. Apologies there, so in case you're picking up some of that. But back to the review. So there you go. Yeah, let's wrap it up now with some final thoughts on these figures. Alright, so final thoughts on these figures. Happy I bought the set because now I have a nice Batwoman figure, and I also have, a nice Batman figure. still have my opinion about the Clayface figure. Just, you know, again, not going to display him. Do I wish they had just released this on a single card, Batwoman? Absolutely. I do not like having to buy a whole, you know, a 3-pack just to get one new figure. You know, I get they got to do things like this, and I think it's a good value for people who want Clayface and didn't have him or don't have this version of Batman. I think it's fine. It's a good value, but I would have preferred a single release of Batwoman just for my own selfish interests, so that I didn't need to spend this much on the 3-pack set. But that's my opinion. If they announce a Batwoman next week as a single card release, I will be a little annoyed. Hopefully, if they do, though, it's a little bit different. Maybe comes with an extra head sculpt or some variation on the costume. Although I don't think she has many variations on the costume. So there you have it. Alright guys, well that's about it. I appreciate you watching this review. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'll be posting more content on my Instagram channel as always related to this set. So please follow me there. And please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed what you saw today. Thank you so much and have a great day.